What is up, everybody? Welcome to another week, another episode of the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. It is so
That's
nice
right.
to see you, and we will jump straight into the intro. Alrighty, like I said, welcome back to the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Johnny. To my left is Chris. Beneath me is Nick.
Hi.
Chris was sick last time. Nick's sick this time. They're just swapping spit. Pause.
Okay.
No, I can't prove it. But
If you want to see, go to the To Be Fair Podcast OnlyFans.
oh no, starting up now. No, welcome back. It is a great day in the United States of America.
We did it.
The Eagles have
Oh, there is a God.
saved us all. Short.
I have
mean,
never been more happy to watch a grown man cry in my entire life.
I watched highlights of him getting abused, and I had some choice words for Nick yesterday that I won't mention on the podcast.
To the
about how I
entirety of
felt.
the world. You didn't need convincing. We told you they weren't good. We'll leave it at that. There's nothing else to say. You saw it. They got absolutely bent over a table. I mean, there's just nothing, no other way to describe it. On every facet, they looked horrendous. Patrick Mahomes had a 52.9 QBR, minus the bogus, fluke last two touchdowns
Yeah,
he threw,
garbage
one
time
of which was,
touchdowns.
So, greatest of all time, ladies and gentlemen.
My butt.
There you saw it.
Patrick Mahomes is
He was
now.
commentating.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes cannot win when Tom Brady is in his presence. Apparently.
Dude, did you see? I saw a stat of who Tom Brady beat. Oh, okay. You do yours first. I'll share mine.
Carson Wentz sitting bench is good luck for Philadelphia.
It's true.
Fair.
That's what I saw.
I saw it was a comparison of who each person had beaten in the Super Bowl, like when they've won. And Tom Brady's wins in the Super Bowl were like he beat Drew Brees, he beat Matt Ryan,
Beat the Legion of Boom.
yeah, Russell Wilson. But it was talking about just the quarterbacks. And then it showed Patrick Mahomes, and it was Jalen Hurts, but 3 years ago Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy,
Jimmy G.
and then there was
And Jimmy
Huh?
G.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah.
That's it.
And I was like, congratulations. You played a middle school offense at that point.
They're
with those
playing
guys
fluke
out there.
NFL NFL playoff teams that they shouldn't have been there, but they just had a really good year.
Oh, it made me. The only thing that would have made yesterday any better would have been if it was actually a close game, and they still lost, and then Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce would have gotten into the presser and been like, "Freaking refs!" That would have been my favorite.
Hey,
but it didn't
DeAndre,
happen.
I lost respect
DeAndre
for
Hopkins
DeAndre
told you
Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins going there whining about touchy calls, and he's dropping wide open balls from Patrick Mahomes. It's like, dude, okay, alrighty.
Yeah. Also, that was the first game. Can I just address something?
No.
People freaking out about. There are some people who are like, "Oh, Eagles got the calls this game." Like, okay, calls go both ways. Clearly, that opening drive the Eagles had and the pass interference was atrocious on AJ Brown. Dude was hand fighting a cornerback, which is done on every ball ever thrown in the history of the universe. So, bad call. But then people are up in arms about Patrick Mahomes when he dropped back, threw that ball, and it was a fumble, and then what's his name hit him in the face. Even the commentators were like, "Oh, they got away with one." I'm like, dude, no, they didn't. Am I crazy? Isn't that the same? If a quarterback if a ball's thrown, and let's say a linebacker tips it on the like trajectory of the ball, and then a safety just tackles the receiver.
Every time T.J. Watt on Joe Burrow after Joe Burrow throws a pick.
0 penalty. You want to know why? Because it's a live ball.
Yeah.
Like, for these people to be like, "Duh, you hit Patrick Mahomes in the face and you got away. No, it's a live ball. What are
That
we
one
talking?
and the personal foul that it wasn't egregious, but I think it's getting called on every other team. The one where the Chiefs defender basically late bumps into
Oh.
the Eagles. Like, it wasn't the strongest call ever, but like
Hey,
guaranteed
go
the Bengals are getting
go
that.
go rewatch the Bengals Chiefs game.
Yeah, it's
Identical play.
yeah. The Eagles. I mean, I hope that they suck next year, but they did their job for me this year. Thank you, Eagles.
We'll see.
Um,
We'll see how it goes. AJ Brown very well may not want to play there, which is crazy after winning a Super Bowl.
yeah. I mean, I feel like if a big enough team would want him, I'd probably leave too. If I
He was
could get
still. What did he finish the year wide receiver wise, fantasy wise? I know it doesn't matter. Like they don't care about fantasy, but like.
Yes.
Well, okay. Before we do this, over under like top 12. Like was he a wide receiver 1 in fantasy?
Oh, no.
You don't think he was? I don't know.
I'm gonna say 11.
I'll say I think my number was 11. I'm right there with you.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me get it.
My point being, the reason I bring it up is because like we all keep talking about like, oh, it was a bad year for AJ Brown, and like, yeah, they won a Super Bowl, but like it wasn't this like huge year he wanted. But in my head, like I think it was still a good year.
What do you give him?
I was saying
number?
11.
I
That's
said-
what
I said
I was
11.
with you.
20.
Dang.
He's
Or
below guys like Jacoby Myers,
like Devonta Smith.
Tyreek Hill,
Oh, that's a
T.
tough one.
Higgins. He was not below Devonta.
I was really hoping.
Really, the breakoff where it's like, okay, Jerry Judy's your 12.
Okay, the last like 4 weeks.
Dude, yeah, he was to the
catapulted him there.
moon.
Adam McConkey, Mike Evans were separated by 0.5 points. Oh, and Cortland Sutton. Then you got DJ Moore at 16, T. Higgins at 17, Tyreek at 18, Jacoby Myers at 19, AJ Brown at 20. He had 216.9 fantasy points.
Yeah,
AJ Brown guys like Jordan Addison's below him, Jameson Williams, Nico Collins, Jawan Jennings, Zay Flowers. Devonta Smith finished 27.
Devonta Smith missed like 5 games.
Yeah, I'm not capping on him. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. But either way, that's surprising. I didn't think he was that low.
I think he will be gone. I don't think he has a reason to stick around now.
It's always funny to watch guys in the NFL because you always get a sense of like who wants to win, and that's all they care about, and who only cares about money. And then there's guys who don't care about either, and they just want to be the entirety of the offense.
Yep. Speaking of guys that we're not sure is going to stay around, Travis Kelce, 4 catches for 39 yards, 0 touchdowns. I was hoping someone was going to scream, "Fight for the right to party" in his face as soon as the game ended.
That would've been awesome.
That's all I was like, dude.
He looked so angry after the game.
I mean,
I saw somebody, they like videoed him walking out, and they're like, "Man, poor Travis Kelce, down so bad he had to wear Taylor Swift's clothes out of the locker room."
He did look weird.
He is obviously one of the greatest tight ends ever. Not given the edge. Everybody, I still give the edge to Gronk. It to me is not close. I would rather see Gronk pummel down the field in a 25-yard seam every single time. I think if Gronk played as long as Travis Kelce did,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Blow him out of the water. Like
Kelce's longevity is insane.
I don't think Gronk had to retire though. I think you probably could have squeezed a couple more years out of him, but why?
Dude, that man is robotic at this point.
Yeah,
His
but
poor body.
We thought the same thing when he went to the Bucks, and then he did the same thing he always did. for the
Yeah.
Patriots on the Bucks. So it was like, I guess he's fine. Like, I don't know. But I think Travis Kelce will retire. I'm calling it. He's giving it up. Do we have any thoughts?
I don't think he will.
I think he should.
Oh yeah, I think
You
he should
saw-
have last year.
You saw, well, I was gonna say last year he started hot, and then you kind of saw the emergence of Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce really suffered the back half of the year. And then people kind of just bought into this, like, okay, it was a Rashee Rice, one-off year. Is this the year? And then this year was pretty bad. Like, as far as fantasy goes, tight ends are always across the board. So he was still like one of the better options, but from what he has been, like significant. I mean, 4 for 39 is I could play the waiver and
Oh,
pick somebody
yeah, I
up.
mean-
Like realistically, that's not
Yeah.
like out of the ordinary for like just a Will Disley week.
I think if he plays next year, he does not crack top 12 for
Oh, dude,
tight ends.
if he plays next year, that's an
That's great.
untouchable
That's a crazy
draft. That's an untouchable
12?
draft.
I think I can name 12 tight ends better than him.
Hold on. Let me pull
Skill wise or fantasy wise.
fantasy wise.
Fantasy wise and ability
And are
to
we just-
play in the year 2025.
Also, I'm assuming you have to base this off of like every tight end just goes back to where they were this year.
Yeah. So I mean,
Like we don't
off
know
the top
like
of my head,
Bengals with Mike
Well,
Gesicki.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts is like technically a big trade target people are talking
off
about.
the top of my head, going into 2025, I'm putting in no particular order: Kyle Pitts above him, Gesicki, McBride, Laporta, Brock Bowers, Mark Andrews, David Njoku, George Kittle, Evan Ingram if he plays. Let me keep going through the teams.
That's
Uh,
kind of the obvious. Oh
Those-
yeah.
Who?
Bills. Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, Dalton Kincaid. Yeah.
T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, T.J. Hawkinson.
Dallas Goddard.
He'd probably be around the same for me as Travis
Oh,
Kelce.
I don't think I would. You
Cole
got like
Kmet.
Yeah,
got-
yeah.
what's the
Cole
guy
Kmet-
from-
Cole Kmet for sure?
what's the guy from
Dalton Schultz.
no, I was gonna
Not
say
anymore.
Cowboys.
Oh,
Ferguson.
freaking
Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson. Yeah, he'd be above him. Even if you drop Kmet, Ferguson's 12.
K. Dotton.
That's what I'm saying. Like all those guys, you're telling me going into 2025 after
Okay,
watching
but
that
that is But what do you think he finished this year?
at a tight
Oh,
ends.
he was still probably like the tight end like
Probably.
7.
Wait.
I'm-
I don't have this right.
I bet he was like the tight end 6 or 7.
I was gonna say 6.
Hold up. Let me cook.
Because there was a weird stint in the middle of the season where specifically like so
You forgot a big one. Jonnu Smith.
Oh yeah.
freaking no kidding. There was so I drafted Travis Kelce in Johnny's league, right? Traded him away to Nick because Nick was banking on it hopefully working and him like kind of turning it around. And there was like a 4-week stint where Nick was like,
I did it.
suck it. And then it
Which really hurt me in the end because not only like the tight ends trading was like whatever, but I gave you Jackson Smith and Jigba, and that was what like
and he
That was a-
balled.
yeah, and he's gonna be a good keeper probably.
Dude, I'm gonna have a hard time with keepers because Amon Ra I got basically super late. He's on my team for an eternity. Jackson Smith and Jigba's late. Malik Neighbors is gonna be a hard one not to keep in like 5th round or something like that.
Mhm.
And then I have Saquon, and I was like the second to last pick in the first round. So like that's technically
You're gonna
value.
be the last pick.
I know, but I'm saying I got Saquon this last year. I'm saying like I would keep Saquon as the last pick of
Yeah.
the first round. So it's like that's crazy value. So it's like I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
Did we get the number
Rightfully, I
on,
have time.
on what he finished this year? 4?
4? Dang.
Who is above him? Freaking Jonnu Smith, Otten,
Bowers,
Wait, no,
for
sorry,
sure.
five,
McBride.
Bowers, McBride,
Bowers, McBride were 1 and 2. George
Mhm.
Kittle was up there at 3, I think.
and then Jonnu Smith. It had to be. Okay.
Yep.
Look at
And
us.
that's kind of the drop off. From 4 to 5, which is Jonnu to Travis. Jonnu was 222.3. Travis was 195.4.
What was Mark Andrews at?
188.
I think, yeah. I mean, the Ravens had a terrible game plan coming out of the gate because they just did not use Mark Andrews, and then once they did, he just couldn't be stopped except for the 2-point conversion. Sorry, Mark. I think he won't have a problem being better than that next year. But
No, I'm.
Not sorry, Mark. I don't feel bad for any of the Ravens.
I mean, I like Mark Andrews, but I don't like the Ravens.
Nah.
He's got the beaties, the diabetes.
I like
Oh.
Derrick Henry.
I do like Derrick Henry, but that's about it.
I
All
like
right.
Lamar.
I don't mind Lamar.
Do not like Lamar.
I know
Moving
you
on
don't,
from
you
moving on from
freaking
players
old man.
that we think may retire. Let's move on to a little bit of players that got snubbed one way or another. We'll start off with the big one in the Super Bowl. Do we think that Saquon got snubbed, or do we think Jalen Hurts rightfully deserved it?
Oh,
It's
He
a,
should
wait.
have had it.
it's a fan vote.
Saquon as MVP? You think he should have had it?
You talking to me or him?
Either one of you.
No, I don't think it was close.
I
So
think
wait,
Saquon was definitely the best player on the Eagles all season, but for the Super Bowl,
Super Bowl
it was a
MVP,
pretty
yeah.
mediocre.
So you guys think Jalen Hurts deserved it?
Yeah,
I think
Okay,
Jalen
I
Hurts
was very
deserved it
confused then.
over Saquon. If you could have given it to a defensive player, I would have chosen the
I'd have
Eagles
been that
defense.
sweat guy.
Yeah, but I just none of and
dude,
none
maybe
of the,
Cooper DeJean. I mean, a pick 6 is kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
First
but
pick.
did you see Sweat? He had like 2.5 sacks, a
Yeah.
forced fumble, and then
Oh
like
yeah, no. I mean, I
7
know.
tackles or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like Jalen Hurts had a good game, obviously, but it's like, I mean, let's be honest. the
Offensively, it was
defense
kind of
really
a
saved him.
tag team effort. I mean, like I said, Nick was right. So, give Nick his props. He was right in picking fantasy players from both teams as the top scorers. But
I said Xavier Worthy, and technically I didn't get the top scorer for the Eagles because the top scorer was Jalen Hurts. But I said Devonta Smith would have a good game,
Yeah.
and he had like a 16 or 18 point
but
game.
like that's what I was gonna say. Other than Barkley, like Jalen Hurts played well. AJ Brown played well. Devonta Smith played well. Like all three of those guys did good.
Which is weird because
So-
they went to the tight ends so much in the first half of the season, and then they just
I told you.
didn't
I'm
exist.
telling you. This is what I said all season. I said I think the Eagles can throw. I just don't think that they had to. And then the Chiefs were like adamant on stopping Barkley, which is like what you should have done. I'm not like saying that's a bad game plan.
Nick,
But-
watch this. Not in fantasy, in real football.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
Jalen
okay.
Hurts a top 10 quarterback?
No.
Yeah, no way.
Top 15.
Yeah,
Not
I
in
know that.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's above
fallen,
half.
He's fallen somewhere in the 15 to 10 range for you
I
guys.
think he's 14. I think he's 13. Give me 13.
No, I think he might be 10.
10,
All right, let's name him.
dude. Joe Burrow,
the-
Josh Allen, Lamar,
Lamar.
Still Mahomes.
still
Yeah.
Mahomes.
Baker.
I'm taking Baker. 100%. I bought into the Baker juice.
The problem is this is the story with Baker where he gives this like incredible year and then it's a like horrific downfall and then he's battled back.
Um,
I don't feel maybe not yet. He's
Okay.
a cusp.
well, how do we feel about Jared Goff?
No.
How do we feel
I
about
probably have Hurts.
Matt Stafford?
Hurts.
I'm taking Matt Stafford.
Ain't nobody else in the AFC North.
Yeah.
AFC South, you're not taking Richardson. You're not taking anybody from the Titans. You're not taking Stroud. Probably not.
No.
What's the other team there? What am I missing? Jags, not
No.
Lawrence.
So you go to the East. You already got the Bills.
Bills. I'm not taking Tua. I'm not taking Drake May, and I'm not taking Aaron Rodgers.
I've got one for you. And I'm not taking
Rodgers!
Aaron Rodgers.
There's
Jaden
no way.
Daniels.
Yes.
Jane Daniels. That's fair.
Okay.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Oh,
Yep.
yep.
Jordan
Um,
Love.
No.
No. Too many
Sa-
picks.
He's just
We
the
say
same.
CJ Stroud.
No.
I would rather have Hurts.
This is
Okay,
going to be
after
crazy.
that-
I'm going to be crucified for this. I'm taking Brock Purdy.
That was the name I was gonna say.
I'm taking
I
Brock
think
Purdy.
I'm taking Hurts.
I'd rather have
And
Hurts.
here's the line for me. If this, I think Hurts probably top 10. I think I'm capping.
Yeah, I think I was too.
I'm at 9.
Dak Prescott.
No. Hurts.
I think I take Hurts over Dak.
I'm taking Jalen Hurts. I hate them both.
I think what was that, 6, 7?
That was 7 for us.
For me, he was the number 10.
Okay. So we both know. I mean, we all know.
And that's
who the
leaving
wrong
off.
one is here.
Oh, here's the real test. Here's
Okay.
the real test.
Here
Kirk
we go.
Cousins.
Oh,
No.
dude.
No
Are we
way.
talking about last year specifically,
Stop.
or like as
No,
a career?
Kirk Cousins, the
A
player,
career?
Stop.
where he's at now.
Stop.
No, I can't give it to him now. If you let me,
Okay.
if you let me go for
Dang,
career,
no.
if you let me go for career, I would have added
You're
Kirk
saying
Cousins.
career?
I would have
What
added.
is wrong with
I
you?
would have added Kirk Cousins, and I would have added Aaron
How?
Rodgers,
How?
and I would have
How?
added Russell Wilson.
How for
His
okay,
career,
Russell Wilson, sure. Kirk Cousins?
dude, he's
Where's his ring?
he's goaded. Where's
Where's his
Burrow's
ring?
ring though?
Clearly, there's a difference, though.
Yeah,
Burrow has had MVP seasons. Kirk Cousins has.
Hey, Kirk Cousins might have got MVP one of the years. All right. He just
Okay,
got
might have,
snubbed.
but didn't. No, stop.
I'm saying it's not that far off. Kirk Cousins is goaded. All right, and Aaron Rodgers for sure. If we're looking at careers, like,
Oh,
hands
yeah.
down.
Career.
Yeah.
Even Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he was better, but I will just. He's gone from the Jets. He's starting somewhere, and I don't think he's going to be bad. I think he's
Yeah.
going to be fine.
Listen, he was fine this year. People had a big problem with Aaron Rodgers.
Almost
I'm
4,000
telling you-
yards, 30 touchdowns, and like 10 picks. It was.
I'll say,
like,
I'm telling you, I had him on my fantasy team. It wasn't anything special, but like every week, it was like 16 to 18 points. Just like super consistent baseline. Like there was
Also,
no
If you're-
variation.
If you're giving me CJ Stroud when he's playing his best, I'll take him over Jalen Hurts' best. But CJ Stroud was so bad last year that I couldn't do it. And that's
no, I think I'm
that's,
capping on
that's
Jalen
saying a
Hurts.
lot for me because I don't like the
I
the
think
team that CJ
maybe
Stroud
7.
hails from. So I don't like to vote for him either. Go white quarterbacks. You know
I
what
don't
I'm saying?
understand your hate. You
He
hate
just-
so many random people.
He just
I don't hate CJ Stroud. I hate the
thinks
Ohio
with his
State
heart.
University.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't mind CJ Stroud. I hate Ohio State.
did you love seeing them win the national championship?
Didn't watch.
It was great. It was glorious. Their run was amazing.
College football will never be able to capture my attention because the playoffs are so bad. The
it was
playoffs.
better this year.
It's
good this year.
I just mean
Yeah, it
the whole idea of the college football playoffs is broken. Like if you lose one game, realistically, you're not getting it. Sometimes two.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
It's 12 team. It's a 12-team system.
It
now.
is a little frustrating. I do know what you're talking about because there are genuinely like teams that are very good that don't make it, and then there are teams that like win the conference, but it's like not that good of a conference, and then they go in for it's like nothing. Like that's frustrating.
The best college football games happen so rarely, like good ones, where it's not just somebody getting destroyed, that I just would rather take the NFL every time. But that's just me. To each their own. Some people like college football because they say they're playing for more because they're trying to get into the NFL, but I don't really see the difference.
It definitely there's a fine line for me where like good teams and players playing are fun to watch, but if it's not two good teams I don't want to watch a game that's 64-7 in the third quarter and the third string's in. Like, not fun.
Yeah. All right, so we agreed Saquon did not get snubbed. Hurts probably deserved it. Now we're moving on to the award season where all of the Bengals players got screwed. Shocker. We'll start off with the easy one. Trey Hendrickson, second year in a row, 17.5 sacks. Not Defensive Player of the Year. Lost to Patrick Surtain. Did he get snubbed?
Yep.
I think he did.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen it.
The fact...
Obviously, you have the bias of the
TJ
Bengals.
Watt would have had 17.5 sacks.
100%. That's where I was going. I said...
They would have been...
TJ Watt gets it. Myles Garrett has the sack title. They're both getting DPO, like Defensive Player of the Year. Like, it's the fact that they were even up there, nominated, and TJ Watt wasn't a top 5 sack leader until very late in the season. And like Myles Garrett just had a billion tackle for losses. That was the stat they threw up on his highlight reel, and it was like, what are we doing? Like this guy has had 33 sacks, or no, 35 sacks in 2 seasons. Like, what are we talking about? And he just doesn't get it. So we all say he got snubbed there. That's a snub. Joe Burrow obviously got Comeback Player of the Year. Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase on Offensive Player of the Year.
It should have been Jamar.
I agree.
I think it should have been Jamar.
I said this. Winning the Triple Crown, there have been 5 people to ever do it. The last person to do it was Cooper Kupp, who was the unanimous Offensive Player of the Year. Not only did Jamar not win Offensive Player of the Year, he didn't get 1 vote. How?
That I know we're biased, but that, like, honestly, we are always consistently the one team that is like, NFL voted on this today 31-1, and it's like always the Bengals voting against it because they're super traditional, like whatever. But like, you cannot tell me that the people voting on this don't have a bias against the Bengals. Like, not one vote. Like, there had to have been some type of like, we're not doing this. We're not giving them votes. Like, the odds of that happening for however many votes were given are so low that someone wasn't just like, man, yeah, he got Triple Crown. Like, I add it with all the other things in the NFL. It's kind of embarrassing to watch that they're just going to snub us openly like that, but it is what it is. I don't think Joe should have got it. I don't think Saquon's a terrible pick, but...
No, I mean, if anybody's going to win it other than Jamar, I think
Yeah.
Saquon rushing for 2,000 yards is the clear next option, but
Yep.
definitely frustrating.
Joe obviously got Comeback Player of the Year. MVP. This is the one. Now, we all knew Joe Burrow wasn't going to get MVP because of his record. Do we at least think that Joe Burrow statistically was the most impressive quarterback?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he was on in the playoffs at all, do we think he got MVP?
I think it's a 3-way race, and then it probably, like, Josh Allen won because he beat Lamar in the playoffs, in my opinion. I think the winner of that game wins the award. So, if the Bengals sneak into the playoff, I think Joe may sneak into the conversation, and then if the Bengals win on a run, sure, he could have.
I mean, I was surprised that he was even in the top 5 because I just thought
kept-
that would be screw you. But
he kept like, I think people were finally understanding like what he was doing. It's like career, like Hall of Fame level type of year. So
I had to at least acknowledge him. I think he was.
yeah,
I think he was 3rd in voting.
he was.
So I mean, it's not like he was completely snubbed. Now, the even trickier thing is, do we think Josh Allen deserves it over Lamar?
Yes.
I probably would have.
I don't like Lamar Jackson, and I think Lamar probably deserved it, looking at their stats. Like, I don't understand how you could look at their stats and give it to Josh Allen. Like, other than the fact that he won the game and Lamar already has MVP. Like, which shouldn't be taken into consideration, but they've
Sure.
people that were voting openly said they take that in consideration, which is wild.
For me, the biggest thing is like taking into account, like, for instance, Joe Burrow. You look at Joe Burrow And I think what elevates him, and again, we're biased because we're Bengals fans, but what elevates him more in our minds was knowing we had like the 25th ranked defense and we still almost made the playoffs. Like it didn't, like you were just always in the game. For me, looking at the two teams between the Bills and the Ravens, defensively in my mind, about the same. I think they're both okay.
Ravens had a good defense.
Yeah, but I think the Bills had a good defense, is what I'm saying.
I don't think they did.
Maybe not. In my head, that's just how it is. Offensively, Lamar had Mark Andrews. Now, granted, not a good statistical year, but like still one of the premier tight ends. Derrick Henry. Josh Allen had James Cook, who's good.
He's supposed to have. Dalton Kincaid is supposed to be good, much better than he was.
Yeah, but again, my point is, offensively speaking, Josh Allen did the same with less.
See, I agree. My problem with that logic is when you start applying that and then stop at Joe Burrow, that's where I have an issue. Because if you're going to say, you can't, just because he didn't make the playoffs, if you're going to start looking at whose team is the worst and how, like, if you remove that player from that team, Bengals don't have a win. They do not have a win this year with a normal quarterback. Like,
sure. Yeah. That's the problem with the stat. Because, like, if you have to weigh record a little bit. But if you weigh record, then guys like Mahomes this year are in the running for MVP with a very statistically mediocre year. But you went. Jared Goff was another one. Like, I'm not trying to take away from Jared Goff. He had a good year. He was a good quarterback. But, like, it wasn't great. But he was, like, 5th in the MVP vote. Like,
yeah,
there's definitely guys I would have had more higher than Jared Goff.
They need to rework the voting system and describe clear standards because
they should let the people decide.
That's a dangerous game because if the Chiefs keep winning, you could get Mahomes every year.
Yeah, I mean, not good.
That's why the Pro Bowl.
Dude, I feel like this year, no, the awards are done before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I mean, if the Chiefs are undefeated, and especially with Taylor Swift now, I sound like such a boomer. But if you got the Chiefs undefeated, then you got all Taylor Swift fans going in to vote for Chiefs players, which happens. Like, that is actually happening. Like, they would get it every time.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. In my head, like, this year, I didn't really hear anything about Mahomes being MVP, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I think it should be voted on by the players, like the top 100 is. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
They have a much, like, when you have Chris Jones and Micah Parsons saying, like, hey, Joe Burrow is different than anybody we've ever played, maybe he would have a shot. But I think as long as you keep letting media do it until the Bengals win a Super Bowl, it's not going to happen. It just won't happen. We're not going to get the respect we deserve until we win a Super Bowl, which I understand because we haven't won one. So,
well, and the media is dead to me in all. The perfect example of that was this year where consistently they keep coming out and being like, it's not. Chiefs aren't getting special treatment. It's like, dude, I don't.
Dude, speaking of media being dead, Dan Orlovsky went off air today. He said he's taking a break from TV.
You want to know why?
Probably because he got death threats.
No, because he's rumored to probably get. So Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, is basically a lock to be the coach of the Saints. It's rumored that he's asked Dan Orlovsky to come coach.
Like a quarterback coach?
Or offensive player or offensive personnel.
Isn't that crazy how he was not a good NFL quarterback? But, like, prime example, Jordan Palmer, Carson's younger brother, works with every single elite quarterback. And that dude was buns. He rode the pine for the Bengals for a couple years, and he was terrible.
He's awful, but he's like the guy, the guru. He's the guru to go like fix mechanics and.
Yeah, it's wild. I think overall the rewards season was a letdown. I'm glad Joe got something, but like he said, you don't want to keep getting comeback player of the year. That's not necessarily great. I will say, did either one of you actually watch the rewards?
No.
Or did you just see it? Oh gosh, I turned it on until Joe got his comeback. It's so bad. It is so bad.
Where was it?
Where was it streaming?
Oh no, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, I got you. They had like Snoop Dogg out there, and like they brought out Jelly Roll and
I saw that clip.
Shabuzi, and it was like the cringiest stuff. Like nobody could actually like. There was not a single authentic laugh in the room. Like, and Snoop Dogg was just reading off the teleprompter. Poor freaking Justin Jefferson. His teleprompter broke, so he had no idea what was going on.
That dude was so nervous.
Oh,
Did you see
it
him,
was-
like on the mic when he was
It
talking?
was so bad. Just the whole thing. It's like, man, you guys really can't make a better production than this, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. That pretty much wraps up the football-related topics of the evening. Now on to the big, the bad, the good, the important news of the night. We have some upcoming schedule changes to the show. We have met, we have talked, we have lamented, we have loved, we have laughed. Not the love you're thinking of. But but we have decided that we are going to be focusing more so on short form clipping content in person with each other. So
For the offseason.
for the off season, yes, we are not going to have a long form show every Monday. The intro will change if I ever have to put up an intro, until probably right before preseason. Once we start doing mock drafts and we start getting ready for our drafts, we'll come back. We're going to trim down the social media a little bit. We've knocked it down to just Instagram, TikTok, and actually it might just be Instagram and TikTok now. Because yeah, I took down the Twitter. Oh, and YouTube, obviously YouTube Shorts. That way we can kind of streamline, focus more on producing better, more complete content.
And I'm sure we'll do some bigger, like, for instance, like draft weekend. You'll have all the picks. You know, maybe we get together on Monday and do a normal react.
yes,
like,
yes.
Where were we at? You know, after the draft, or something. So that might be like a legitimately long podcast or something. But for the most part, basically until NFL preseason, we're gonna
You will see us.
give you the hot info in short form.
Yeah, we just want to make it more interesting, more relative, more specific on certain clips, so we can, kind of crank them out and optimize making content and our time, because we all three have full-time jobs. So we got to make the most of it until you guys make us rich and we can retire. So
Come on.
YouTube at To Be Fair, where you're watching it right now, you know that one.
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram are the same one. If you have content requests, you want to see us debate.
Not all will be.
Yeah.
We won't do them
Yeah,
all.
we'll go through. If you want to see us debate if Russell Wilson is an all-time better quarterback than Ben Roethlisberger, then you could see something like that. See, look, I got him thinking. You don't think he is?
If you want to see us participate in the events that the NFL players are doing on,
Oh, I'm smoking all of you guys.
dude, no way.
Pro Bowl?
No, not the Pro Bowl. Not the Pro
Oh,
Bowl.
dude, yeah. Let's
the
set
NFL
up a
Combine.
precision passing challenge.
Dude,
Dude, let's
NFL
do-
Combine, I would
NFL Combine.
smoke you guys.
Dude,
No
I'm
way.
gonna blow out
Yes.
an ACL. Oh man,
We
yeah.
could do a combine. Just do a hodgepodge of throwing, passing, running, kicking,
Let's do what's the track and field? The punt, the throw,
pump, pass, kick.
pump, pass, kick. Let's do pump, pass, kick.
Dude, I'd smoke you guys at that too.
Hey, dude, I've got a cannon for.
Who
a
do you
leg.
think you are?
Got a cannon for
I-
a leg.
Who's in it? Who's in a league?
Uh,
Yeah, but
you
watch
ain't kicking.
your school
kick
didn't
farther
even
than
have a
both of you.
bruh. You can't kick a field goal. I told you that I'd kick a field goal like 35 yards right now.
Bruh, you could not.
See
I'm
this.
telling you, I could kick a 35-yard field goal
I
right now.
could kick a 36.
We might take it on the road. We'll take you to a football field. We'll get you some interesting some interesting content where you can see these two buffoons kicking a field goal. Neither one of them going to make it from 35. Let's be honest.
Dude, I'm telling you, I might go from 50.
All right, you'll see. We got to take him to a field now. But
I'm
yes,
telling you, I could strap up a pair of cleats right now,
No
and
way.
I would nail a 35-yard field goal like first try, no
first
warm-up.
No.
try. No,
Yes, I'm telling you,
saying,
100. The Pat,
ridiculous.
I'm saying
Pat
3
McAfee
tries.
show. If Pat McAfee ever brought me on for that college game day kick, I would win so much
Dude,
money,
okay.
and it would be the easiest money I've ever made in my entire life.
I know what you're thinking. You genuinely believe. I know, but all I'm saying is, I went to the Denver Broncos game, and they brought out Shane Graham. Now I know Shane Graham is retired, but the man kicked field goals for a decade, and he missed 2 35-yarders back to back for the whole stadium to win pizza. He could not make it, and it's like Shane Graham ain't making a 35-yarder. I mean, he's retired, obviously, but it's like I'm saying it might take you more than one.
Dude, I'm telling you, we will press record. We will not cut, and I will make a field goal in 5 seconds.
Have to turn it into a time lapse. He's gonna be out there for 5 hours kicking a field goal.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen that way.
Do the intro when the sun's up, and then the sun will be setting. Okay, guys, this is my first try.
Alrighty. So yeah, look out for us on YouTube Shorts, TikTok. Now that Donald Trump has saved it, thank you, Donnie, and Instagram Reels. We will be posting more edited, polished content to keep you engaged. Thank you so much for sticking around while we have done the show during this season. It has been fun. We will return. This is not a goodbye. This is just a change of scheduling. So, with that, for the last time in long form, until next time, we appreciate you. Thank you for everything. We will be back shortly. Keep an eye out. Goodbye.